episode of the Smith Boys podcast. Really? Brother. It's been a long time coming, brother. Brother's excited. Brother was waiting for this day. It is the official launch of college football season. It's no longer week 0, we're week 1.
We played today.
Michigan game is over against East Carolina, and we're going to do a little quick recap analysis of what we saw today, what we liked, maybe what you didn't like.
Right.
Brother, I'll lead it off. We'll save for you because you're the big Michigan fan, so we'll get to your opinion. We'll save the best for last on that one. I was encouraged by what I saw today.
You were enamored with number 9.
I was not. I was one of the few people that was not enamored. I was
number 9.
I was slightly impressed.
Number
I've been a McCarthy watcher for the last year and a half.
You mean hater?
Well, I just don't think he's really been very good.
Well, he was pretty goddamn good today, wasn't he?
He was pretty good today. Yes, he was. But I like to keep things in perspective, and I also like to
it was East Carolina.
I also like to pull the reins back in a little bit because he had all day to throw the ball.
Yes, sir.
He played East Carolina. It was
sir.
trash. You shut him out. What was it, 30-0?
30-3.
30-3. So there was really no reason for him not to play the way he did. He had some bad throws that he got bailed out. Cornelius Johnson made a couple real nice catches that bailed him out. The one that was real high over his head that he caught.
But there was a lot of throws that were spot on.
So, some of the throws were over-exaggerated, how good they were. The first touchdown pass where he was on the run and he was past the line of scrimmage, which wasn't a touchdown in my opinion because he was fully past the line of scrimmage. Yeah. But, it was like an 8-yard throw to the end zone to Roman Wilson, and the announcers are like, oh, my God, what a throw. And it's like, dude, it was like an 8-yard throw. Like, what are we doing here?
It was a nice play.
Like, what are we doing here? He threw it. It was like an 8-yard throw.
It was a nice play.
It's not like he threaded some needle from 40 yards out. But it's a Michigan quarterback, so he's going to get all of his praise and love. But he looked good today. It was probably the best I've seen him play.
Yeah.
But it's also, I like to pull the reins in. It's East Carolina. I thought the running game didn't impress me too much, other than the one run that Corum had.
Yeah, the one run that Corum had. That's what I was. The running game was not that impressive. The offensive line did not really push East Carolina around the way I thought they were going to push them around. Now, I thought that they kind of got better in the third quarter. Well, really, this game was obviously done before really it started, but like the third quarter was really telling. When Michigan still had their starters in, it's like I think this is going to be kind of how a lot of games go for Michigan this year, where like the third quarter.
That's how they played last year. They grind you.
Yes, the third quarter I think they came out and said East Carolina ran 4 plays in the whole entire third quarter. 4 plays, 3 and out and a punt. I mean, so JJ looked phenomenal. He looked like $1 million. 26 for 30, 280, and 3 touchdowns. He got me 24 points in fantasy. Donovan Edwards kind of does what Donovan Edwards does. He runs like a blind man for the first quarter.
He didn't really have any opportunities this game.
He came on as the game wore on. Corum, I think he had 13 carries for like 70-some yards.
Corum is clearly the better number 1 running back.
Corum is the number 1 guy. There is no doubt about who is the better running back. Edwards is probably the better football player because Edwards can do, he can play wide receiver. He did have a catch. He's
a great receiver out of the backfield.
He's probably actually the best receiver on the team aside from Roman Wilson, who's now wearing number 1, and I think Michigan has a legit number 1. He caught 3 touchdown passes today. He looked phenomenal. He looks like a wide receiver. I mean, some of the throws that JJ...
he's a little small.
He's a little small, but JJ popped one in there. I think it was the 3rd touchdown pass
to the corner,
dude. That was a phenomenal
good throw, good catch. He catches with his hands.
Yeah. Colston Loveland had a really nice game.
He looked good.
Cornelius Johnson had a really nice little game.
I think the defense looked good.
The defense looked good.
They shut him out, obviously, but I think the defense. Or I don't know, maybe they
I'll tell you who's a player. I'll tell you who's
Mike
a player.
Sainristil?
Oh, Mikey Sainristil, we know. Ernest Hausman. Ernest Hausman.
That's the guy 15. That transferred.
Yeah, he's a dude. He's a future dude.
I think the defense looked. I was impressed. The defense was kind of smothering and didn't really give them much air to breathe throughout the whole day.
It was just kind of like bend but don't break. That's kind of what Michigan's style is. It bent a little bit and then it kind of clamped down. It bent a little bit and then it clamps down.
I want to. There's we're going on the Bleacher Report forums. At least I did for a little bit there throughout the game.
I want to talk about Peacock too, real quick.
And one of the comments I saw that just kind of irked me was talking about how it was like, oh well, you know, a team like East Carolina and we're only winning 30-0. He's like, we're not going anywhere.
Oh,
this is how we're
you
playing.
can't make that assessment.
And you know, I commented on it and I was like, dude, it's week 1 and it's week 1 and your football coach is suspended for 3 games.
Yeah, dude, you can't take it.
And then you're coming out and you're beating them 30-0. Like I think that's pretty that's pretty standard, I would say.
Well, they went for it on 4th down there.
You had a kicker that missed 2 extra points.
Yeah, you had a 4th down there that Michigan probably, you know, if the game was tighter or something, they would have done a little bit different. They were just trying to be stubborn and pound it in. You know, they weren't really getting creative with it, so they left points on the board there.
But I mean, they marched right down the field with like 20 seconds at the end of the half.
Yeah,
they got the ball. They got the ball with like 30 seconds left in the half and went down and kicked the field goal.
I was really surprised.
That's what good teams do.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I think JJ connected on 15 consecutive passes at one time. He looked great. I mean, he had a great feel in the pocket, great feel and running around to avoid pressure, feel the pressure, find out where to go, and keep his eyes downfield to connect with whomever that he needed to. You know, Freddie Morris had a pass. I think Carmelo English, his name was announced, but I don't think he had a pass, but he did have a punt return. You know, it was a solid game. I mean, they didn't really show a whole lot. They don't need to show a whole lot. But to me, if you're gonna take anything where you got to say, hey, you probably need to be a little bit better here. I don't really, you know, gonna put too much into it, was the run game. The offensive line, you know, didn't really like impress me that much. But other than pass protection, I thought they protected JJ good. But the run blocking wasn't overly stellar, except when Corum was in the game. You know, Edwards did his typical blind man run. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about the game other than defensively you looked good. You know, your secondary was strong.
I think
the only other thing I'll say is Peacock sucks.
I think I was impressed, honestly. Here's one of the biggest takeaways I would have. I think JJ looked good, and I'm surprised, brother, at how much they threw the ball.
Yeah, me too.
On a lot of regular downs where I'm like, well, this is Michigan run the ball.
It was
Michigan
18.
will run the ball. Michigan will run the ball. Michigan will run the ball. And they threw it a lot of times.
Yeah,
and I'm like, holy shit,
The
brother.
differential between run and pass was 18 pass, 13 run in the first half.
Yeah, I was
and Michigan
surprised.
wants to be pretty balanced. I mean, was that 31 plays? Okay, so you're taking 3 away and giving 3. So, but there was a lot of times where I was like, yeah, they're going to run it. And shit, they threw it.
Yeah,
and I agreed with, what's his nuts, Chris Sims, where he's like, I like when they pass when JJ was under center. They would do a little play action. It was deadly, dude, in the first quarter. In the second quarter, it was deadly. When JJ would line up under center and he would do a little play action or whatever, and you know, he'd find the tight end, he'd find, you know, whomever, dude. And it was a lot of plays to the receivers, which is good because it wasn't all like dink and dunk bullshit. I mean, he was throwing the ball down the center of the field without a care in the world, and guys were wide effing open. I mean, it was East Carolina, but it's a good thing for confidence. But some of the throws JJ made, dude, are just, I'm telling you, that one to Wilson in the end zone. And there was a couple other ones. One to Loveland, another one to Wilson.
He looked more poised.
He looked great.
He looked more poised than I'd seen him. Like last year, he looked more like a chicken with his head cut off a lot of times, panicking in the pocket. He looked a little more secure this time. He looked a little more poised in the pocket and maneuvering in the pocket than he did that I've seen in the past.
So what about so we tried to watch this game on Peacock. This is Michigan's game on Peacock. There's a new deal between the Big Ten and NBC.
You blew it!
To put a game for every team on the Peacock streaming service.
We had a hell of a time with Brothers One TV in his basement.
So the big TV that we watch everything on.
Big 70-inch LG TV.
Yeah, 75-inch LG TV.
Could not get Peacock to stream properly for the life of us. It would buffer and stop and hiccup like every 10 to 15 seconds.
Fucking thing sucks!
And it
to
was
the point
miserable.
where it's unbearable to watch.
It's unbearable, and it's like...
So we tried streaming. So brother tried casting his phone.
Yeah, I tried bringing up Peacock on my phone and screen mirroring that to the TV. That did nothing.
No, it was even worse.
So then I got the idea. I was like, well, brother, let's try your TV upstairs in your living room, which is like a 30-inch whatever
No,
brand.
it's a 55.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a 55-inch.
Like
it's a Skyworth, which I got free for buying the furniture outfit upstairs.
Yeah, so some like
it was
jank,
it was a deal.
Yeah, some jank no brand TV.
It's a 55-inch.
It is a smart
Skyward.
TV though. So
it's a smart TV.
You got
It's a Google
Peacock
TV.
on it, so we logged onto it with Peacock and didn't have a problem with Peacock.
No, it was great the rest of the way.
So it's something to do with the LG TV and Peacock because Dad has the same problem with his LG TV and Peacock.
Yeah, it's LG.
And
It's LG TV.
I've never had a problem with Peacock on my TV, which is Sony.
Me and Dad have the exact same TV, except his is just a little bit smaller.
I think
and
so,
mine's
yeah.
a little bit newer.
So, but
It's the same LG Smart TV.
But either way, the fact that the Big Ten did this is terrible because you're relying on people logging into first of all paying and logging into a Peacock account. And then now those people got to worry about having good enough internet to stream it properly. And it's just like, dude, just leave the game on ABC.
Yeah, I agree. Or CBS or whatever you're
Just
on
leave the
now.
game on cable or national TV so that nobody has to worry about having the internet to watch it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I texted Rick. Rick didn't even have Peacock, so he couldn't even watch the game.
A lot of people probably don't. A lot of people probably
Who has
didn't watch
Peacock, dude? I would never get Peacock.
Well, a lot of people have it, but Nerd's got it.
Yeah, but I don't know if she has like a paid account. I don't think it's paid.
I don't know, but
Unless she gets it free through like her Sprint or school, maybe.
Yeah, it was a nightmare though. So horrible decision by the Big Ten. So this whole thing, like, oh, well, all games are going to end up going to streaming on Peacock.
Yeah.
They better not because that's miserable.
So Michigan has UNLV at home next week. Jay Harbaugh is coaching the team next week. It's not Jesse Minter. And I'll touch on Jesse Minter coaching real quick. I thought he did a fine job. He looks the part of a Mike McDonald head coach from the Dolphins. You know, just a little pipsqueak, pimply frig.
Okay, you little pimply little shit.
Reminds me of like LaFleur.
Yeah, a little bit.
Green
But
Bay.
he did a fine job. I mean, he was composed. They ran the Harbaugh play, the train play.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb. But next week is UNLV. I think you're going to see more of the same, where Michigan's looking to pull their starters by the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think so. We can touch on that in its own pod later on.
Yeah.
Wrap this.
That's
one
all I
up.
just wanted to say. Just transition
Till
to next week. But
Smith Boys out.
see you.